Hello and welcome back to the Engerati studio. We're now joined by Orvar Hurtig, who's the head of industry and society at Ericsson. Orvar, first of all, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to join us at the studio. When we were talking a little bit off air and in some of the briefings, there's an immediate question, which is, Ericsson is synonymous with telecoms, part of the whole telecoms revolution and evolution. What are you doing in the utility world? Where are your ambitions, and is that it, or are there other industries?
We've been in the telecoms industry for 138 years and of course learned a lot. We've been through a transformational journey with the telecoms industry. And we see that what has happened to the telecoms industry is actually happening in many other industries as well. And it's not just us moving into the utilities industry or transport industry, it's actually them moving into our home turf, I would say. They need connectivity, they need service enablement and so forth. So, yeah.
So in terms of that, then, when we look at it from a bigger picture standpoint, you've kind of said it. They're moving into our turf. They need this and so on. What are some of the things that you are seeing that is happening within the utility sector? Let's stay with that for a second, where you have gone and say, you know what, we can add value here. We can bring knowledge.
If you walk around here today, you hear a lot of people talking about smart meters, smart grids and so forth. And that's a lot about connectivity, device management, things that we have done in the telecoms industry for 100 years or more than 100 years. So of course all that knowledge and all that competence we can bring to the utilities industry. We can't do everything today. We will need to do some acquisitions and so forth. We need people from the utilities industry. But the base we definitely have, and we believe we're really relevant for this industry.
And when you then look at this and you take it up to again a much higher level, it strikes me that with one of the other sectors that you mentioned is transport, and there may be others that you can share with us. Yeah. But that really also starts going into the whole sort of smart city conversation a little bit as well, because energy is key for it, transportation is key for it, and you're already there because you're running the mobile networks, aren't you?
If I answer this way, we will focus on a few industries. We need to focus. I don't think we can be strong enough if we try to do everything. And we have actually looked into many industries. We've looked into manufacturing, we've looked into banking, to healthcare and so forth. But we decided to focus on three. Utilities, obviously, which is where we focus most. Transport and public safety. And if we talk about smart cities, all these three fit into that concept very well. And they're connected, of course, to each other. So, those are the ones that we're focused on.
And so when you look at this as well, because a part of the challenge is solving today's problems. The other part of the challenge is to showing people that what some of the problems are that could be solved that people may not have thought about. And can I ask you to just go to the last point first? So what are some of the things that you think you can do within either the utility sector or some of the others that we couldn't even think about doing 5 years ago?
I can take two examples, two probably known examples, but electric vehicles, for instance. I believe we will see many more electric vehicles on the streets. And the ability to charge your electric vehicle wherever you are, you might be in a friend's house or you might be somewhere outside, anywhere, you need to be able to charge it and get the bill home to you. That is a service that we can provide to industries, the transport industry and the utilities industry connected, and actually connected through our service enablement platform. Then things that we might not think of, or things that has actually happened. Volvo, we work with Volvo. I have a quite good example for what happened when we enabled their services through our service enablement platform. They have a connected car, you have the ability to know where it is, you have the ability to open and close, lock the car wherever you are. So Volvo came up with, why not help DHL? Instead of delivering at home, we can deliver stuff to the car. So what they've done is they're providing a service where DHL can come and deliver the goods to the car, open up the car remotely, deliver it and lock it remotely instead of delivering it to the home. I mean, this is just one example. Might not really fly, but when we provide this connectivity, when we enable new services to start flying, you will see loads of things that we can't think of today.
And one of the things, one of the conversations that are coming out in the conference as well is a lot about this concept of utilities delivering new services. You know, and I would imagine where the telecoms background and the mobile background, you know, you're constantly trying to deliver new services. I mean, that's what that game's all about now. So how are you seeing the potential evolution of a utility to deliver new services through some of this more connected home, connected grids and things like that?
Just the fact that you get much more connected to your customers, which you are not really today when it comes to utilities. Connected to the homes and behind the connected smart meter. I mean, of course you can come up with many new services. We will support with the connectivity and the service enablement. We will probably leave for all the industries to think of good things to come up with here.
And do you think that within this industry, in terms of again your competency and what you're bringing to bear, is there is a potential for you guys to run networks and run grids for them? Is that as far as you want to drive this vision?
If you look at what we do for the telecom players today, we are actually a huge operator without people out there knowing that. We are operating networks for operators with 1 billion subscribers in them. So we're strong there. We roll out networks everywhere. We do field services for networks everywhere. We have a service organization of 65,000 people. We have some 20,000 people working with field services. We roll out networks in any country. In Sahara, we roll out networks in New York, which is actually more difficult than doing it in Africa. So for sure, all this competence we can reuse in the utilities industry or other industries.
Can you also see that there is a potential where, because of your depth of connection within the telecoms industry, that there's a potential to broker some innovative partnerships? Because I mean, we had people sat in this chair say, you know what, some of our really big issues is getting some of this meter data back because the meters are underground or whatever. But this is the same sort of thing that
of course. Been dealing with. I mean, we work with loads of connectivity, data, micropayments. I mean, if you think of what this little thing can do for you today, of course, all that knowledge you can bring into the utilities industry as well and reuse there, of course.
So all that payment side of things, because that's another big part of the utility, the sort of revenue assurance and all that stuff, that that can be done off a mobile phone and things like that. I mean, one of the questions I wanted to ask you as well, because we're kind of coming to the end of the time, and it'll be a question I suppose many people are asking. It's like what is the commitment? What is the energy you're putting within Ericsson to be in this space? Because it's a very important question for a utility. They want to partner for 50 years because that's how long this
and we
stuff
want to
is.
partner for 50 years as well. First of all, it is, as I said earlier, it's not just about us moving into this industry. This industry is actually moving into our home turf. They need connectivity, we need connectivity. So that is happening. On top of that, we have a strong commitment. We have already made acquisitions, product acquisitions. We'll continue to make product acquisitions. We'll continue to acquire service capabilities as well. We are recruiting a lot in this area. We're definitely here to stay, I can assure you.
Well, I think on that note, that's a good message to leave it on. Thank you very much, Orvar, for joining us, and thank you as well for watching. I hope that gives you a sense of the sort of strength and depth that is being built out in Ericsson. I mean, there's a huge strength and depth already, but you're adding to it continually. Thanks once again for watching.